The Corsair Carbide Air 540 high airflow cube case is great for air cooling or liquid cooling. Check the link in the video description to learn more. Welcome to my unboxing of the ImageMate all-in-one USB 3 reader and writer. Yes! It reads, it writes, it slices, it dices. And you might think that, okay, unboxing something like a card reader is sort of pointless, but I'm going to be 100% truthful with you guys. I needed one. And you might say, well, why did you need one? Every notebook ever made has a built-in card reader, and card readers aren't that expensive, and you could just sort of get one. Well, the truth of the matter is that commodity card readers, the USB 2 variety, just aren't really fast enough for us these days. So having something that runs off of USB 3 makes a significant difference when you're copying anywhere from, 16 gigs to 32 gigs or more of data at a time off of cards onto something else. So in order to sort of do a practical demonstration of what kind of a difference this will make, we're going to walk through the product itself, which is actually kind of nice looking. I like the ID here. So it's got a little metal stand here that actually has some heft to it. So it's got 3 little rubber feet on the bottom. Go ahead and put that wherever you want. Then it has 3 plugs on the front. So we've got compact flash, SDHC, XC, MMC. Seriously, is anyone still using MMC? Go home. MS Pro, Duo, Pro Duo, all that good stuff. So memory stick if you still use those. And micro SD, XC, or HC, or whatever you want in the top. At the back, you find a USB 3 micro interface, which I still hate, but there doesn't really seem to be any getting around it when it comes to things like external USB 3 devices that need a slim connector. So in this case, they wanted to go for a slim, sexy form factor, so that is what we end up with. What I was afraid was going to be the bad news about this product is that USB 3 cables are quite bulky. They do have more pins than USB 2 cables. So I was worried that what was going to happen is it was just going to tip this over, but the weight of the stand on the bottom does seem to prevent that from happening. So that's, almost, unless you put all the weight of the cable behind it. So there you go. Micro SD cards these days. We've got the latest Sandisk Extreme UHS 164 gig micro SD card. We're going to throw that in an adapter since most notebooks don't really support like dedicated micro SD slots for the most part. This is why it's still handy, especially for us where we're using different media such as compact flash or whatever else. I'm going to go ahead and copy the smaller of these 2 files to the desktop. Copy and replace. Yep. So let's go ahead and see how long it takes on USB 2. We're going to see speeds in the neighborhood of around 18 to 19 megabytes per second, maybe 20 megabytes per second sustained. And so yeah, there's the convenience of having the different slots and being able to plug multiple cards into them at the same time, and there's also a speed advantage. Now, this is a micro SD card. If we were looking at a very high-performance, full-sized SD card, we'd be able to more effectively leverage the additional bandwidth that USB 3 affords us, but it's just for the sake of, doing a quick and dirty demo to show that there is a difference, even with a micro SD slot, we're going to go ahead and plug this micro SD card into our card reader, which is already plugged into the PC. There we go. Hopefully that'll get detected pretty quick. We're going to take that same file and we're going to overwrite it again and see if we do get things going on a little bit faster here. There we go. So funny story, when we were trying that demo before filming it, we accidentally had the card reader plugged into a USB 2 port, which means we were seeing exactly the same bottleneck. So we were only, well, not quite the same bottleneck because it's still a better performing card reader. So we were seeing around 22, 23 megabytes per second. And we hadn't actually looked up the specs of this particular SD card because we only got it in order to demo that USB 3 is faster. So we were like, oh, Sandisk sent us a micro SD. That's kind of weird. So we didn't know it was actually going to be around 80 megabytes per second sustained reads, which it turned out to be, which was a very effective demo for how much faster USB 3 is. So there you have it, guys. We're not perfect, but sometimes it works out anyway. Like the video if you liked the video, dislike it if you didn't, leave a comment if you were somewhere in between, and as always, guys, don't forget to subscribe.